What Lonzo Thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I offer up my unsolicited views on everything from movies, music, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. My thoughts are unsolicited, they're my thoughts, and I give them whether you like it or not. All right, next up on my list of Prince reviews is 3121. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. And what I am doing is a retrospective review of every Prince studio release from the beginning to, sadly, the very end. And we're on to 3121, which was the follow up to the hugely successful Musicology record and tour. Now, 3121, oddly enough, is the first Prince record to debut at #1 on the album chart. Yes, it did. It debuted at #1, so it was a huge hit. The first track from the record is the title track, 3121. And if you listen to me in the past, I always say that Prince likes to open up his records with a huge, sprawling track to kind of introduce the record. And 3121, the title track, is no different. It is a great song. It is my favorite song from this record. Prince had this way of, it's kind of hard to explain, but he had this way of producing music, especially the latter part of his career, that kind of called back to his roots, to his earlier sound, but he would infuse it with a current sound. So it made a fan like me who knows his discography, it really impacts me, because it's like the Prince that I knew and loved from the 80s, from my childhood. He basically, the melodies that he comes up with kind of calls back to that, but it's fresh and new. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And 3121 definitely has that feel to it. I love the vocals. He distorts his vocals a little bit. He has the Camille type of a sound to his voice, where it's kind of high pitched. Don't you wanna come 3121? I have a hard time doing his voice, but anyways, I can't sing. But it's a great song. Great song. Next up is Lolita. Lolita is a rock-tinged pop ditty. It's filler, but it's a good song. I like it. I don't listen to it a lot, but I like it. It's good. Don't skip it. Next up is Te Amo Corazon. I love you, Corazon. I think that's what it means. It was the first single from the record, and kind of an acquired taste. I like it, but I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it. It really depends on how I feel that day when I'm listening to it. I can either love it and listen to it a couple times, or be like, next. It's a good song. It's not a terrible song. It's got to catch me in the right moment. So you may feel the same way. Let me know. I don't know. Next up is Black Sweat. Now, whenever I listen to Black Sweat, nowadays I think about my buddy, the late great Sean Hill. He hated Black Sweat. Well, he was so much hated it, but he felt the song was redundant, and he hated I guess he didn't like the melody, the shrill sound. It's kind of hard to explain, I guess. You've heard the song, you know what I'm talking about. The song gets kind of redundant, but it's not a bad song. It's not one of those songs that kind of calls back to his roots a little bit. So I did like it. I do listen to it from time to time. It's not a terrible song. It was a big hit for him. So Black Sweat, take it or leave it, but I like it. Next up is Incense and Candles, which is a powerful Prince slow jam ballad, calling back to his, do me baby, international lover, scandalous type of feel. It's a nice slow jam. It's a nice song to groove with and do your thing, if you know what I'm talking about. Next up is Love. Yeah, take it or leave it. I leave it. It's okay. Not much to say about it. It's okay. I don't listen to it much. Same thing with Satisfied. Now, Satisfied is not a bad song at all. Satisfied is kind of powerful, to be honest with you. But it's another one of those songs that you got to kind of just catch it at the right moment. But it is a solid song. Next up is Fury. Now I really do like Fury a lot. I like the guitar play. I like the theme of the song. The there's nothing like the fury of a woman scorned. Ain't that the truth? And guys, if you're listening, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So he went in on that one. So good song. I like it. Fury, don't skip it. The word skip it uh, is more of a religious type, and I'll digress for a moment here and just say I never did like the religious Prince, especially once he kind of gave in to the Jehovah Witnesses and kind of changed his outlook on things, and it affected his music, and it kind of slams you over the head every once in a while with his religious beliefs. I never liked that part of especially the latter part of his career, and stuff songs like The Word just leave me dry, and I tend to skip them. Next up, Beautiful Love and Beautiful, Loved, and Blessed featuring Tamar. Good song. I don't like Tamar at all, so that bothers me, so I don't listen to the song very much because I just don't like Tamar's voice. The dance, can't really say much about the dance. I only listened to it a few times. It didn't really move me, so pass. And Get on the Boat, of course, is another one of those Jehovah Witnesses songs, so you know how I feel about that. I've said it already, so skip. So there's only 12 tracks on 3121, but as an overall work of art, it's a good record. I mean, 3121 is great. Teyama Corazon, like I said, take it or leave it, just depends on how I feel. Black Sweat, kind of redundant, but it is a groove. Incense and Candles, awesome. Fury, awesome. So, as I've said in the past, if a Martian or an alien landed on the planet Earth and said, "Hey, Zoe, I'm gonna shrink your head unless you tell me the best music to listen to, and what do you recommend?" Well, 3121, I'd recommend a couple songs from it. Like I said, 3121, Fury, Incense and Candles. Those songs would definitely get mentioned if I had to save my life. Now, Black Sweat, if I wanted to drive him crazy, maybe Black Sweat will do that, kind of like dripping water on somebody's forehead or whatever. I shouldn't say that. Black Sweat is not a bad song. It can, like I said, it's redundant. So if you listen to it over and over again, it can start to get on your nerves. So it's not a song that holds up to repeat listenings. You got to listen to it and you got to piecemeal it when you listen to it, because it can be annoying. It can be annoying. So I get that. And the late great Sean Hill, if you're listening, I get it, man. You were right. But as a cohesive record, 3121 does hold up. I liked it a whole lot more than I liked Musicology. It was great to see Prince back in his groove a little bit and back in the forefront after Musicology. He didn't pander with this record like he pandered a little bit with Musicology, so I do appreciate that as well. He actually performed 3121 on BET. I always noticed that if you it was at, I think, the BET Awards. So if you ever watched that, I think you probably find it on YouTube somewhere, the performance, how he performed the song 3121, and the crowd really didn't get into it. I always noticed that. It's like I guess people don't really get it or understand it or care. It's Prince, so you're always going to show him that respect, but I always noticed that the crowd just wasn't really into it. I don't know. There's a little trivia behind 3121 as well, because that was the address, I believe, to the house that he was renting at the time, or that's what he called it. And that was the house where he rented it from NBA player Carlos Boozer, and he made all these different renovations to the house and fix it up in a way that only Prince can. I guess Carlos Boozer didn't like that, and he sued Prince, so whatever. So that's all I have to say about 3121. I know it's a short review, but the record is pretty nondescript. It's not a bad record. I do listen to it from time to time. So tell me what you think. What do you think about 3121? Did it move you? Or are you ambivalent about it? Or are you on the fence like I am when it comes to certain tracks? What's your favorite track on 3121? And most importantly, do you agree with me when it comes to Black Sweat? Please, I want to know. Was Sean off base? Am I off base? It's 3121, not an annoying song. Um, Once again, it's a good song. It's just something about it that kind of grates on me. I don't know. I'm getting old. I guess in my old age. I'm getting harder to please. I don't know. But Fury is good. Incense and Candles is good. 3121 is good. What do you think? Hit me up. Let me know. Drop me a line. Hit me up on Twitter at WhatLonzoThinks. Email whatlonzothinks@gmail.com. Spank me on Patreon if you want. Hit me up. Let me know how you feel. Drop me some vocals if you want. I do appreciate the feedback that I do get, especially on YouTube. I appreciate my listeners, and my subscribers are growing slowly, but it is growing. So if you listen to my stuff, if you check in, please go the extra mile and also subscribe. I do appreciate your feedback, and I will keep doing these reviews and adding additional content as I can. I try to get out as much as I can, but sometimes real life takes over, and you got to do things, and you don't have the time to do the fun stuff that you kind of set aside to do. Anyways, what do you think? PRiNCE, 3121. Do you like the record? And if you do, why? Let me know. Comment below. Hit me up. Let me know what you think, because I'm always going to tell you what Lonzo thinks. Bye.